Greetings from Nairobi, Kenya and around the world. I am Derrick Reece and welcome to News Talks, where we bring exclusive details of happenings from all over on public issues affecting health, economy, education, and finally arts and culture. But first, a peek at trending stories from around the world. Queen Elizabeth II has made a private donation to the relief effort in Indonesia after an earthquake caused the loss of lives of 1,649 people. The amount donated wasn't specified, but the Disasters Emergency Committee raised 6 million euros. About 200,000 people are thought to be in need of food and shelter. Christy Cassiter, a lawyer that competed on season 15 of The Bachelor in 2011, has died at the age of 38. The former contestant collapsed on Thursday while attending a training class, and friends called 911 seeing no sign of response. Broward County's Office of the Medical Examiner and Trauma Services confirmed Cassiter had died. Cause and manner of death is still under investigation. Now, 40 years after the birth of Louise Brown, the world's first chest tube baby, an international committee monitoring progress in assisted reproduction reports today that the global total number of babies born as a result of IVF and other advanced fertility treatments is more than 8 million. Among the three top global stories, we will be talking about one major global story on in vitro fertilization, preferably in Kenya. Now, infertility affects 10-15% of Kenyans today. Globally, the figure stands at 11.9% according to the World Health Organization. Females said to be having 38% of cases, while males standing at 20%. The charge for this procedure at a fertility clinic goes for 300,000 Kenya shillings for one IVF treatment, when the egg and the sperm are from the same couple, and an extra 90,000 Kenya shillings if the sperm or egg is donated. Today, more than 2,000 babies in Kenya have been born through this method. In Kenya, the Nairobi IVF Center now offers a wide range of assisted reproductive technologies, including IVF and ICSI, which stands for intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Other services include egg and sperm donation, embryo cryopreservation, and so on. Infertility in Kenya is not just a medical issue. For many women, the inability to bear a child is a tragedy, and end up carrying the societal burden. Now, is IVF more suitable, or should Kenyans opt for the cultural practice of getting another spouse? I invite you to comment on our Twitter page. The handle is @news_dots and D_Reece, and tell us your thoughts on this. We shall sample some of the comments during the feature and at the end of it. Right, looking at some of your tweets, at Brian Odea says, I believe that getting another wife will work for me, IVF is too complex. How sure am I that the doctor didn't use some random samples in the procedure? Wow. But before diving deep into this, Maureen Mumbi, one of our correspondents, is on ground and will give us an in-depth look into this matter.
Thank you, Derrick, in studio. I'm stationed right outside Nairobi Baptist Church, and the increase of births due to IVF is picking up in the Kenyan market. And according to the World Health Organization, says that women unfairly carry the burden of infertility, well, merely because pregnancy and childbirth are manifested in the woman. Well, the question we are asking today is, will Kenyans opt for solutions other than marrying for the women, or bigamy for the men to end infertility, or now start embracing IVF? Well, I would like to get some few sentiments on this issue.
For me, I believe that IVF is okay because it involves science, so people kind of these days trust the way science works, and it also works for women who can't be able to start a family. Not even women, just women and men who can be able to start a family. Therefore, it's an easier option for them. It might be expensive, but it's better for them. That's all I have to say.
For me, personally, I wouldn't opt for it. It's too much work, too much resources, money, time. It's a waste. I'd opt to just get another wife.
Thank you, Maureen. Now, do you think that Kenyans should shun bigamy and remarrying and opt for more IVF procedures?
Well, Derrick, that's a very interesting question. Well, for me, I would probably opt for IVF if infertility may be an issue. Well, that's my opinion about it.
We have some more comments are lining up in regards to our feature today. At _Mudhoni says on Twitter, it's much more preferable having IVF done. I mean, it's healthier and strengthens the bond between you and your spouse, finally having both of you in one baby. I guess this shows more pro-IVF than anti-IVF. Right, well, joining me is Dr. Wanjiru Ndegwa, who is an IVF specialist and a gynecologist. So do you think people will start opting for the IVF procedure more than the usual cultural norms of bigamy and remarrying?
If you mean that to ask whether people will, single women will prefer to have an IVF cycle with a donor sperm as opposed to getting married, or if people will prefer to have a surrogate mother carrying her pregnancy through the mode of IVF. I think in the West it's happening already, where surrogates are more preferable for the stars because they don't want to lose their body image, which is part of their marketability. But I do think in an African context, probably not in a long time, I guess.
How secure is the procedure done, and are there confidentiality agreements with the clients?
So how secure is the procedure? It's a medical procedure just like any other. So there are risks that can occur because one, the patient has injections, you could get reactions to the injections, there's a theater, there's a part where you have to go to theater where we do the egg extraction. That also has its own side effects and risks. So there are risks to each and every medical procedure. As to whether there is a clause or a confidentiality clause, yes, it is a confidential, just like medicine, everything is confidentiality between the doctor, the nurse, and the clinic and the patient. So obviously we're not allowed to give any information about our client, even the name or what we've done, unless it's at a court of law.
Right, thank you. I'm also being joined by Mr. Tony Gakenya, a father who undertook the IVF procedure. So Tony, how efficient is this procedure, and did you feel it was the right method for you and your spouse?
IVF is a medical procedure that has been initiated in our country in the last 10 years and more. And this procedure, it depends on the clinic where you go. There's clinics where you get its 20% success rate. Others will get its 35% success rate, but it all takes God, because God is the giver of life. This procedure of IVF, personally, my wife Lillian and I, we tried this procedure for about 4 times. We had failures, but in the end, we had a success rate. And on the IVF is whereby when you go to the clinic, they take your embryos and put them in a petri dish, where they are let to combine. But when you go to the next level of IVF is called ICSI. ICSI is where when the sperm and the ovum and the egg of the lady is taken, the embryologist will direct the sperm directly into the egg of the lady, and they will be let to combine, and also there the baby will start growing. That ICSI has a high success rate, and that is what we encountered with my wife. And after the procedure was done, we had a good success rate, and now our child is 1 year and 3 months today.
How would you say the IVF procedure is as compared to surrogacy, like most people choose in Kenya today?
IVF compared to surrogacy, it's all about the personal preferences, because as a couple, you will need to identify someone who can be able to carry the baby for you. But for IVF, it's the lady, your wife, who is going to carry the baby herself. Now, here it matters on how is the womb of your wife. And if the womb, your wife, has a problem, then the doctors may suggest surrogacy. But if the womb is okay and you find the fallopian tubes have an issue, the doctor can proceed and do the IVF procedure. And when the embryos are returned into your wife's womb, they will be let there to grow and attach to the womb, and the embryos will be let to grow for the next 9 months so that the baby can be born. But when it comes to surrogacy you find sometimes it has a win-win situation. We have experiences where a couple has approached another lady or another family to be able to carry the baby for them. But as the baby grows in the surrogate mom's womb, you find the attachment starts to become deeper because the mother and the baby are growing together. So, and now when it comes now when the baby is finally born, that detachment from the surrogate mother with the baby, and it will be very difficult. We've had cases where some surrogate mothers have really manipulated the couple that has been struggling with a child to bear a child, and it all becomes very difficult. And this is something that we need to come up with laws, but laws will help in one way. It's all about we need to have a personal integrity, whereby if a couple approaches you, you'll be able to agree, this is what I'm doing for them, and I'll be able to detach from the baby once the baby is born. At the end of it, we leave everything to God, because God is the giver of life. And through IVF or surrogacy, when you put God first, everything will go well, and it will be able to be success, and God will bless you. Thank you.
Thank you for your sentiments, Mr. Gakenya. Now, wrapping us up is Reverend Dr. Musia, our religious expert. Dr. Musia, would you advocate for IVF even though it involves science?
Thank you. Personally, from what the Bible says, I do not advocate for it because this is against what the Bible says. This is ungodly, and because the Bible says that God is the one who gives children, and even like in the Bible, the case of Jeremiah says that before Jeremiah was formed in his mother's womb, God knew it. So I will not advocate for it. It is unnatural, it is ungodly.
Interesting. But IVF is also more reliable as to getting another spouse. Would you say not?
I will not go for getting another spouse, and because you know, the Bible says that children are rewards, are gifts from the Lord, and a marriage is complete with or without children. Children will add joy to the marriage. In the Bible, in the Old Testament and even the New Testament, we see there were women who are barren, and God opened their wombs and they were able to conceive. So by taking another spouse, this is adultery, which the Bible does not advocate for. So if a couple is not able to have a child or to have children, I would wish they pray, because God is able to open the womb, God is able to give them children, and if God desires not to give them children, taking another spouse will not be a solution. It will be against what the Bible says. Otherwise, in marriage, apart from children, there are other blessings that God gives us. So it is upon the couple to seek the will of the Lord instead of going to get another spouse. I know many, even Christians, have gone for surrogacy and all this, but the only solution is trusting in the Lord. That's what the Bible says.
A very big thank you to Dr. Wanjiru Ndegwa, Tony Gakenya, and Dr. Kato Musia for your sentiments. Time for your feedback, and let's check out our Twitter. At picture.ke says, I definitely believe IVF is safer and much helpful. Didn't know it had such confidentiality. That indeed would protect my interests. Kenya is a developing country. We get to experience new and modern technology like any other African country. So why not embrace in vitro fertilization? The success rates are high as compared to countries like Zimbabwe or Zambia. We even have it cheaper here, unlike the days where Kenyans would fly to Johannesburg in South Africa for the procedure. And this would cost them roughly 700,000 Kenya shillings, minus such expenses like consultation, flight tickets, hospital care, and such. Plus, the privacy policy guarantees you of your confidentiality of your donor, should one be needed, and the donor knowing your identity. Does it insinuate adultery should you use a donor? Well, I beg to differ. That shouldn't stop your dreams of bearing a child coming true. Well, thank you for watching. Be sure to follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter at @news_dots for more news updates, and also carry on with the conversation in the comment sections. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. Tune in for our next episode only here at News Dots. Au revoir.